Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and hot rodders of all ages. So today we're back on the little Tribute T, and we're going to install this flex plate. Now this is the one that showed up with the engine. Here's the part number, FRA 159. It's matched to this engine. So when we open it up, it's pretty straightforward. You get a flex plate and you get some important notices. And what this does is tell you, it's got some installation checklist and what can cause a flex plate to failure. So if the center of the flex plate is broke out, it can tell you, give you some good pointers on what to look for other than just replacing the flex plate. So it's got a good read there. And, here's the flex plate. As you notice, it's got this little bit of a lip here. That it goes towards the raised lip, goes out. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure these bolt holes that are on here line up with our torque converter. So let me move you over here to our torque converter, and this is just a check. So, and here we go. We got one there, there, and there. Those line up. Here's the other one for a bigger. So you can see it doesn't line up. So there we go. There's the bosses. It's also got the embossed area that you can see here that, it'll go on. Yeah, if I can get it to roll around. There we go. So you can see it'll go around like that, up against that embossed area. So like I said, the embossment goes towards the torque converter. So let's go ahead and we'll show you how I've installed this. And this is how I've always installed flex plates, flywheels, whatever you want to call them. Let me move some stuff around, get my camera set back up just a little bit better. There we go. So some people like to use Loctite on these. Some people use engine oil. This is the way I've always done it. So, you got 3 bolt holes. You got a bolt hole, a dowel hole, and another bolt hole. So that's where that center one goes. And we're good and lined up there. I've always used blue Loctite, and it doesn't take very much. So I've always used that on my bolts. And I've never had a problem with it. You do not want to use the red Loctite on there unless you're wanting to do some major damage when you go to take it apart or when somebody goes to take it apart, because it's going to pull them threads 9 out of 10 times if you use the red. So the blue is for threads. The Class C Loctite is removable, unlike the red. So always go with the blue on the threads. If I can get this started here. Yeah, that's crooked big time. There we go. And when you run these up, you want to do it in a star pattern. And what that does, it allows the flywheel to be pulled up evenly, or the flex plate, whatever you want to call it. And I always do a 2-step torque on this. So my first one will be roughly 25 pounds. And that just makes sure that everything is pulled up evenly. And with that low poundage on your torque wrench, it is really tough. I can't talk and feel the the torque click at the same time. So that's why I'm pausing in my conversation here. All right, so now we're going to go up to, depends on who you talk to. Now, B&M, the torque converter company, says 55. Summit says 65. If you hit the internet, they're going to tell you 75 foot-pounds on these. So as long as this torque, you know, anywhere from 55, they say, to 75. I like to do 65. And then, you know, I'm holding it with the flywheel wrench. Keep it from rotation on me. Once again, 65 pounds. All right, now that I've done the star, I always go around and I double check it, and I'll just go in a circle just to make sure. And there we go. All right, so now that's in. Let's go ahead and install the torque converter in the flywheel or in the transmission, and then we'll go ahead and mate the two surfaces together, the transmission and the engine. That way it's got lubrication on the seal and doesn't take a chance of tearing the seal up. Now, as you notice, it's got these two notches, and what it is inside that pump is what it slides into. It's got a spline shaft in there, and it goes inside the pump, and the pump has got two fingers that hit on this. Now, when I put this in there, you'll see that I put it in, and I'll wiggle it, and I'll line it. I'm lining the splines up in it. Then it'll go in so far, and I'll turn it probably and get the first initial notch in, and then I got to turn it and wiggle it some more and get the second notch. If you do not get that second notch, what it is these ears are not lined up, and you're going to break the ears off your pump, which is going to be a very bad day when you go to fire it up and you're all happy that you got your project all running, and you put it in reverse and there is nothing because you broke the ears off the pump, and therefore the torque converter is just spinning inside the transmission. It's not actually pumping the transmission fluid through the veins like it's supposed to, and you got to tear everything apart and put a new pump in there. So let me get set up and we'll go ahead and install this. All right, so now we got you down on the level of the transmission. Now, one thing I did not say is when I fill this torque converter up, I only fill it halfway. That way, when you tip it 90 degrees to put it in, you're not spilling all that tranny fluid out. So there's the first notch. There's the second notch. All right. It moves freely and it's in all the way. So the directions are also on there. Let me get a flat something flat I can reach across there with. And let me get a measuring device. So we can lay this across there, and I measure, and I want to be an inch in. So let me get this where you can see it. So there you see I'm an inch inside with that torque converter. That way I know it's in all the way. So always turn it, make sure it's freed up, not binding anything, and we should be ready to install it on the engine now. Well, I was going to show you how I usually do this just by picking that transmission and scooting it forward. But as you can see, I stepped through my pallet. So we'll just step back and do it the other way. We'll hang the transmission off and we'll bring the engine to it. Hi, Jacob. Thank you. Oop, wrong way. Oop. Here, just go to the front. You're blocking my camera. There we go. We'll put a couple bolts just to get her started so we don't lose it, and then we'll do a final heave ho and give her a push. All right, Jacob, give her. All right, hold it right there. That's a wiggle. We're good there. All right, now I can go ahead and put the rest of my bolts in. It's not going to go anywhere, Jacob. Thank you very much. All right, so now the last thing we want to check on this I want to make sure that transmission torque converter still spins freely. I guess I can get the camera, bring it down and show you. But you get the idea. If transmission torque converter still turns freely, you're in there properly. And once it's in place in the car, I will go ahead and put the torque converter bolts into the flywheel. Alrighty, folks. So now it's time for a little movie magic. So where it looks like we work really, really fast in the shop. Wish that was the case all the time. So I got my boy involved. We set the engine and tranny back in for the last time, hopefully. So don't forget to torque them bolts down to specs like they should be. And, you know, we went ahead and put the fuel lines in, transmission lines, and, you know, put the tranny mount on for the last time. Check it out. So remember, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and it would help a bunch. So we'll catch you on the next video. Okay, got the paperwork that came with this torque converter. Now this is a little pet peeve. Today's technology, and this is all the better the pictures can be. Come on, guys, let's step the game up a little bit. You know, if you're gonna put directions out, at least make it good pictures. Looks like that thing's been photocopied dozens and dozens of times. So if you don't know what you're looking at there, I can see where you'd have problems with this. So let's step up the game a little bit on that.